Hello everyone, it's Danrie from Craft of Giving, and with Christmas just around the corner, it is time to get creative. So in this video, I want to share with you how to make the super cute felt fox ornaments. So to make your fox ornaments, you'll need a piece of paper that you fold in half. Now you can use a template if you'd like, but I just freehand drew a face of a fox and then cut it out. So once you open it up, it leaves you with a template of the shape of a fox's face. Once you have your template all cut out and are satisfied, you need to cut two, so front and back, out of some felt. Now you can stick with a brown color, or I think if you had a nice orange color, that would work even better, being a fox. So go ahead and cut two out and make sure they all match, and then set those aside. So to make the iconic little white fluffy cheeks for a fox, you need two of these little teardrop shaped little templates that you need to cut out of some white felt, or if you have a beige felt even, that would work really nice too. Now you need to pre-measure this inside your fox's face to make sure that it looks like it's in proportion and it will fit nicely inside your face. In your face. That sounded so mean, I'm sorry. So go ahead and cut two of those out, making sure they match, and then test it on your felt before we get started on the stitching. Now, a quick disclaimer, I am by no means any good at sewing, so if you're a better sewer than me, please don't judge and be creative with yours. So I'm using an embroidery thread that I found at my craft shop, that's very inexpensive, and threaded that through a fairly large needle, and then brought the ends together to create a little knot. Now I used a really long piece of thread so that I do not have to play matches and adjusties here, where I can just start from the back, so all my knots and things are at the back, which will be covered because it will be inside the fox's face, and started sewing this together. Now you can sew this any way you like in the stitching patterns that you need or want to use to attach the cheeks to the fox's face. I'm just using a straight sort of stitch, a running stitch, is that what it's called? I'm not even sure. Now instead of making a knot at the back for my first cheek, I'm just going to go straight onto my next cheek by just bringing the needle from the back over to the side and attaching the left cheek there. So I'm avoiding making any knots and cutting the thread and starting at a new starting point. So to ensure that my thread comes to the right point and it looks neat and tidy, I'm making sure that my thread comes out to the front of the face before I'm attaching the back of the fox's face, so that I can just continue on with a blanket stitch, I believe it's called, from the base of the face there, and go all the way around the fox's face to join the two pieces together. But before we get to the end there, I am just going to leave a gap, but to stuff it a bit later. So for this blanket stitch, or I think it's called a blanket stitch, if it's not correct, leave the comment down below and teach me something too. So basically I'm just bringing the needle through the two layers and wrapping it around the edges and from the base of the back of the face, and then come towards the front and then wrap it around side, back, front, side, back, front, if that makes sense. So it's just a very basic stitch, and if you're crafty with stitching, go ahead and make something really cool here. But I really like the rustic look of my very amateurish stitching. So before I get to the end, here I'm going to add my stuffing, which I'm just using a plain cotton ball that I'm just sort of breaking up and shoving it right in there and making it nice and plush to create a nice, cute, fat looking fox's face. Now you can use wadding or even broken bits of tissue, I don't know, anything you can use to stuff your little fox's face with should work fine. Now once you're ready and satisfied, go ahead and bring the sides together. I had to tidy up my edges there a little bit because it had little remnants of the cotton ball. So I'm just pushing that in, making sure it's nice and tidy, and then continuing on with my stitching. Now once I get to the end, once again, I'm not going to worry about creating a knot and cutting the thread. I want to use the remainder of this thread as the loop that you hang the ornament onto the tree. So to do that, I'm just sort of creating a sort of a knot, I suppose, by just finishing off that, making sure it's nice and secure down the bottom, and then inserting the needle from the base of the face all the way to the top of the head, making sure I come through this seam line there and nice in the middle, and bringing that needle through, pulling the thread with it so that I can use the remainder to create that loop. So I'm just going to go ahead and sort of measure out how much of a loop I want, and if your face sort of pulls in from the pulling the thread through, just make sure you pinch it and pull it back down to release that tension. So here I'm just going back into the head there and just sort of looping it onto something so that I can create my loop, and then I'm starting to create a little knot by just pulling it into a smaller loop and then threading the needle through that loop and pulling it taut so that it creates a little knot. So now I am securing all of my fox with one tidy little knot right at the top of the head, and you wouldn't even know that I didn't have to bother doing 5 different starting points and making little knots. Go ahead and secure your knot nice and tight, do it a few times if you'd like, and then cut off the remainder. And there's your face of your fox pretty much done. Now the fun part of adding a few little bits of beads just to create a little nose and 2 eyes. So using a smaller needle and some thread, I started by adding the needle through the side seam there into the middle of the nose from the inside so that my knot sits on the inside, and then attach my little black bead for the nose by just running the bead through my running the needle through the bead to create a secure join. It's like doing a little button basically. So just running the needle through the bead, through the felt, back through the bead, back through the felt, and create a nice strong join there so that your nose do not fall off. Once you're satisfied that your nose is on securely, go ahead and create a little knot. So I'm a big fan of my little loop-de-loop, put the needle through the loop type thing to create my knot, but that's just the easiest way I found. So I make a little loop, pull the needle through that loop and pull it nice and tight to create a little knot. Cut off the excess remainder bit of thread and then do the same for your 2 little eyeballs for your little fox. And there you have it. Now you're done. So here is the finished product ready to hang up on your tree or on your friend's tree, or give as a little gift for anyone who loves Christmas and love woodland creatures. So here's another one that I made, and the stitching was a little bit different. As you can see, it wasn't a straight edge, it was sort of like a running blanket stitch, if you can call it that, around the eyes area there. So you can be very creative with your stitching type. And there you have it. It looks so cute on a Christmas tree, and I think it's a great project to do before Christmas. It's very inexpensive to make, and you can get the kids involved and make little presents for everyone in your family. I thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a big old thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know what you are most excited for about this coming up holiday season. If you want to, you can subscribe to my channel, and as well check out my other previous Christmas related DIY videos that I have on my channel for you to enjoy. Now's the time to get creative and start making your advent calendars so the countdown can begin. I thank you so much for watching. Remember to be crafty with your giving, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!